how the heck do you choose your kettlebell sizes when you're just starting out? Maybe you're thinking about doing kettlebell foundations but don't know where to start. Everyone will give you a little bit of a different answer to this question, but here I'll break down my reasons why I choose certain kettlebells. First and foremost, you're gonna wanna have a mobility-sized bell. This one is the one you'll use for your movement prep, for your mobility and your stability in your shoulders. And when you turn it upside down, it gives you even more feedback. This one you will not get bored with. So you can get a 4 or a 6 kilogram bell for that mobility and stability work. Next, we have the 8 kilogram bell. This one I'd say is not a mobility sized bell for most people, unless you have already done a lot of mobility and stability work, and if you already have tools at your disposal for that shoulder work, you could get away with getting the 8 kilogram bell as your lightest kettlebell. This is also a great bell for beginning kettlebell swings, kettlebell strict presses, and learning your kettlebell movements, especially your shoulder movements. So this is about 18 pounds, and this is the one I started off with for my first one-arm kettlebell swings. Next, we have the 10 kilogram bell. This is often not included in a standard set, and it's not included in my standard sets because we typically like to jump 4 kilogram increments when we're working with strength movements. But this 10 kilogram bell can be a problem solver for a lot of people. I've had a lot of students use this 10 kilogram bell when they were stuck between these two sizes. So a 10 kilogram bell can be a nice tool to have in your kettlebell collection. The 12 kilogram bell is a bell that I can safely say that everybody should probably have in their collection. It is so versatile. Some of you will use it for your farmer's carries, others for front rack carries, others for your waitress walks, and kettlebell swings, goblet squats, deadlifts. This bell is excellent for most people. It's about 25 pounds and a super versatile bell. The 16 kilogram bell. This is a special bell to me because I'm trained in StrongFirst, and this was the bell that I used for my snatch test and my skills test when I was getting certified as a StrongFirst instructor. So I used this for my strict presses, I used it for my Turkish get-ups, and it was the first bell that I purchased for myself. I told you that I started with the 8 kilogram bell for my one-arm swings. Well, the first bell that I purchased and used for the first year of my kettlebell training was the 16 kilogram bell. For some of you, this will be awesome for your deadlifts, to learn some of your movement patterns, for squats, for carries. The 16 kilogram bell I'd recommend for most people. And then we have the 20 and the 24 kilogram bells. I'll address these together because for most people at the beginning, this is a great weight for deadlifts and then progressing to your kettlebell swings to give you feedback in that movement pattern. It's really nice to have a heavy bell that will give you feedback. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't need a heavy bell right at the beginning. Well, actually, I have seen people of all skill levels, of all backgrounds, use the 24 kilogram bell safely very early on in their kettlebell training. So it's nice to have a heavy bell for that feedback. And if you're somebody who's quite strong already, the 24 kilogram bell might be a bell that you start to progress to for your kettlebell presses. Same with the 20 and others with some of the earlier bells. So I would recommend getting these heavier bells quite early on in your kettlebell journey. And finally, why not 2 kettlebells the same size? Well, that's a good question. And I actually love using 2 kettlebells the same size for efficient movement. However, in the earlier days, we really like to do this unilateral work that helps us identify any imbalances in our body, and it helps to strengthen both sides while working one side at a time. Eventually, it's really nice to have 2 kettlebells the same size because it also adds up to double the amount of weight. So these two 24-kilogram bells add up to the Beast. Instead of buying one kettlebell, the Beast, you can have the Beast right here with two kettlebells in front of you. So it can be a really great way to diversify your collection without purchasing single kettlebells all along the way. So I'd recommend getting two of one kettlebell, your working sized kettlebell. So beyond your double bell sets, you'll want to grow your kettlebell collection in 4-kilogram increments. After that 24-kilogram bell is the 28, then the 32, the 36, the 40, 44, and 48-kilogram bell, which is the Beast, the heaviest kettlebell out there. Typically, we work our way up to these bell sizes as you're ready. I got super secure in my Turkish getup, and my personal record with my Turkish getup is this 32-kilogram bell, and I use this bell for low volume work, such as a kettlebell swing, 3 reps at a time. It's anti-glycolytic work that I do with this bell. I use it occasionally. I use it for grounding and for feedback. And a lot of my students, well, I'll give this to them to try out a deadlift with this kettlebell. And I have this 36 bell because I had a student want to progress to the Turkish getup with a 36-kilogram bell. So you'll see as you go along which bell sizes you grow into. So that's it. 4 kettlebells is your basic kettlebell set. 1 for mobility work, then 1 light, 1 medium, and 1 heavy kettlebell. If you want to save on shipping costs, I'd recommend adding 2 more bells to that collection, perhaps the 6 or the 10 to add more variety in this range here, and then from there going up in 4-kilogram increments. That amount gives your body feedback to tell you if it's too light or too heavy, and if it's the right bell size, it will give you excellent feedback in your movement patterns. So in that deadlift and those kettlebell swings, you'll get enough information from the kettlebell to put yourself into really good positions. So that's it. You can get started with your kettlebell collection so that you can keep strong and kettlebell on from the comfort of your own home.